Okay, here is my lesson with Emma. We're going to talk about cheesecakes. So, we're cooking in the kitchen. What are we supposed to do first?
Wash your hands.
Why do we wash our hands?
Shut up. Germs.
Germs, good. Way to cue from your sister.
Okay.
Okay, so we wash our hands and we wipe everything down, make sure things are sanitized and clean, right?
I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah. Just not see me wash my hands.
I know we're just talking about why you do it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about cheesecakes and how we make them and why we make them the way we make them. So, what's in a cheesecake?
Graham crackers.
Graham crackers, that's the crust.
Butter.
Cheese.
Butter.
Eggs. Cream cheese. Butter. I don't know.
Now that you put your phone away, what else is in a cheesecake?
Lemon zest.
Well, that's in this one.
Okay, well, vanilla. That'd be whipping cream.
So, something that's usually can be in a cheesecake is some kind of starch. Do you know what starch is?
Like cornstarch.
Like cornstarch. Okay. What does cornstarch do? What do starches do in a cheesecake?
Makes them hard, not liquidy.
Not liquidy. So when it's not liquidy, what does it get? It's not thin.
Dense.
Dense.
Moist.
It
Moist.
thickens. It thickens it, makes it dense.
Dense.
Which was a good word, yes. So usually we need a starch to help make things more dense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another way that can happen is with eggs. When eggs cook, their proteins unravel. So they're usually kind of like twisted up, and when they cook, the proteins unravel. So when you're cooking an egg, it goes from clear to white, and that's those proteins unraveling and thickening up, and it kind of does the same thing in a cheesecake, helps thicken it with the egg whites. And the egg yolk is an emulsifier. So an emulsifier is when you have fats and other things that you need to mix together and stay together instead of separate. So sometimes when you make, when you pull out different dressings or stuff and you have to shake them back up because they're not mixed together very well, it's because they're not
like oil and water.
Yes, exactly. If you emulsify it, put an emulsifying agent in there, then it will stay mixed together. It won't separate out. Okay, so that's another thing that we're doing with the cheesecake. We want to make sure that it gets emulsified. But on the other hand, we don't want to mix it too much, or else then it might start to get tough or too dense, and it's not light and fluffy. Okay. So these are important things about cheesecakes, right? Another thing about cheesecakes is the kind of pan that we cook them in. So we use, what is that?
Cheesecake pan.
A cheesecake pan.
A spring form.
Thanks, Grace. It's a spring form pan. Why do we use a spring form pan?
Make it shake. I don't know.
So we can release it.
Okay.
Okay. So would we be able to like shake a cheesecake out of a pan like you do a regular cake?
You can scoop it out, or you can just eat it.
Would it?
That's what I do.
Would you be able to present it that way to somebody? You
Well,
just like dump it out upside down.
You can do it in like a good-looking one, and then you can just present it in that.
Would it look pretty if you just did it in the pan, or is it better if you take it out of the pan and put it on something else?
Depends on who it's for.
Okay, so say it's for a paying customer.
Oh.
Does it need to look nice?
Yeah.
And it can't stay in your pan or on the base because you need to keep those so you can cook more.
How much are those balls?
They're a lot. Okay. All right. So here's your recipe. What do we need to do first?
Are you doing crust first?
I don't know. Are we?
Yes.
What's usually the first thing we do when we bake?
Preheat the oven.
There you go. Preheat the oven. What do we need to preheat the oven to?
350.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. No, not bake.
Okay. So now what do we need to do?
With a racket. Oh, I didn't know. For crust. In a medium-sized bowl, combine the graham cracker crumbs, sugar, and melted butter.
We don't need to do that in a separate bowl. That's more dishes. Do you like more dishes?
No.
No. We can just do it in the pan. So we need to measure it out in our big one and then our 4 small ones.
Oh my gosh.
So
Graham cracker.
let's get our big one. So we need cup and 1/4 of a cup. Okay, so now we're going to measure out for our crust and get them into the big and the small pans. So do the graham crackers and then the sugar, and then the graham crackers. How much needs to go in what?
I need the graham cracker, not the sugar. 2 cups. This is a lot of graham crackers I could be eating. I mean, you can't still be eating it.
I bought you an extra box so you can eat the other one.
Sugar, how much sugar do I need? 4. Bedazzle it.
And then your butter. Yep. Actually, first, mix up the graham cracker and the sugar a little bit, and then you add the butter into it.
It's
Why
like
would it?
Pink lemonade pie.
Why did we want to mix up the sugar and the graham cracker before we add the butter?
It's not so sugary in one spot. Or whatever, just evenly spread.
Yep, so we want it mixed up so the sugar is evenly spread through the graham cracker crust. Okay. Much better.
Oh. It's gonna come like pouring out.
When it's melted. Okay, so mix that up and get it pressed into the bottom.
Yeah, Mom, where's your bottle?
So why is it important to have enough butter in the crust?
So it doesn't fall apart.
Do we like crust that falls apart?
No, it tastes disgusting.
It tastes disgusting.
Actually, but you can't have too thick a crust, because then it's gross. I learned from my dad.
So how do you know when it's like the right amount of crust?
When it is that high.
Just that high?
Yep.
So you gotta measure it.
Yeah, that's
Do you
why
have
I
any
like the
dry
clear one.
around on the edges?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it here. There.
Okay, so now what do you need to do?
Flatten it. Are you clean?
Hmm?
Are you clean? Flatten it.
If they're clean.
They are clean. Well, I mean, like Shelby drew on them, but I watched my. She's being super racist in church. She got the pen and she drew taco. And she wrote taco. And then she drew a guy. She wrote Mexican man. And then she wrote taco away.
Alrighty.
That's what we do in church. And then my first hour, I felt so relaxed.
So is that even?
I'm a bad way, I can't tell.
I think it needs a little more butter for it to be nice and firm. So you've got some extra melted butter. Pour a little bit of that in there.
I don't want to just got it all over me. Oh, Mom.
I'm making a mess. Okay. So if we take this and we kind of spread it out evenly, then when you're pressing it down, it makes it easier to make sure that it's more
My hands
even.
crazy.
Yep.
Dude, see yours. Here.
Does that look and feel a little more even?
Sure. Sure. Feels the same.
Okay, so get the little ones. Look for the cup and use those.
Oh,
How's that?
Mom saw Lane. Mom saw the video of Jaylee giving Lane a candy. It was so funny. He's like, "Oh, I ship it."
Alright. Mix those in up. Where'd the pork go?
So harder.
I'm gonna melt just a little more butter.
Like it's harder to make honey cheesecakes.
Why is it harder?
It just is. It just is. And you have to subtract a lot, and I don't like that.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of math to figure out the different amounts of ingredients.
I don't like that.
But it takes more time to do a bunch of small ones than one big one. So that's why a lot of the times things that are mini are always a lot cheaper. Because it takes a lot more time to do mini things.
That's why mini things are always cheaper.
No, I said they're not always a lot cheaper. Because it's actually cheaper to make something big than it is to make them small.
They're so much cuter.
They are cuter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know if this is in a dream or not, but I remember when like the lawn first went on award, and I think I remember, I'm pretty sure this was in life, but Brooke, she like puked in the middle of the hall or something during sacrament. Do you remember that? I remember that. I was really little. I was like 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember that.
You were dreaming about it the other night?
No,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Just a random memory.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Did you put butter in this one?
I did not.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember that. It's kind of weird, but.
Make sure it gets packed down in there good.
You're so good at it.
It takes years of practice to get good at something.
Not for me.
They say to be an expert at anything, it takes 10,000 hours.
I must be an expert at dance.
You've done 10,000 hours of dance already?
Mm-hmm.
So you know everything about it?
I think that's wrong. I think it's like 100,000 hours.
100,000 hours.
Because I've done 10,000 hours.
Well, how long is 10,000 hours? So if you've got 24 hours in a day.
Times about 365. Let's see, write that back.
Equals 8,760
60 days.
So you would have to be doing something every second of every day for more than a year.
I've done that.
You've done that every second of every day?
Well, like, if you combine all of it together.
The other one.
Okay, so Claire, she started a group chat with like all of our crushes, like mine and Bailey's and Addison girls, and also boys left. They just left the group chat. It's so funny. And then we just like started talking about it. You should be lucky I turned off the post notifications. So I like muted it so you don't get the notifications when you text me.
Yeah, every once in a while it pops up and it's like 423 notifications.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we texted a lot. Last night, we texted for like an hour. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us on it.
Yeah. So.
Recording.
Yes.
That one has a little too much butter.
That one's got more butter. We'll see what difference that one makes. Having more butter in it.
Okay, I can't see it.
Than the others. Okay, so it says that we want to chill the crust while we make the inside, so we're going to put these out in the fridge real fast.
Cream cheese.
Okay, so.
Oh wait, how much cream cheese?
It's on the table.
32 ounces.
Gary, it's on the table.
Is this 8 ounces?
Yes, you need all 4 of the packages.
That's a lot of cream cheese.
Well, it's the main base for the cheesecake. Where's it open? So if you pull apart at the top,
I got it.
there you go. And it will pull open so it's open flat.
Cream cheese smells bad.
Get out, Lucy. Get out of here.
I never know how to open these, so I just like them off. And then they just like trash.
There you go.
So last night when we were chasing, so we were doing it when I was putting Tommy to bed. And so like I was trying, we were just like saying all these random things, and I was trying so hard not to laugh because the baby was almost asleep. So I was like, I can't laugh. Like we just ruined it all, and it took so long, like just to get him in the bed. And I was trying so hard not to laugh. I was like, I was like, I can't. It was so funny.
Struggle is real.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much sugar?
1 cup.
Cream cheese, sugar, and flour. So a cup. Okay, so you got sugar. Now you need a little bit of flour. How much flour?
3 tablespoons.
Okay.
That's
You have a
teaspoon.
It'll be 6 of those because they're half.
This will make my life easier. No. Is it?
Oh, that's when we want it more liquid. That's for the more solid stuff.
Did I put this one first?
Yep. Block.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I hate this.
There you go. So start it at a low speed and slowly work it up. Go up a notch.
It's like cream cheese frosting.
Turn up some more. And a little bit.
I feel like folding. Wait, I gotta take this.
Scraper.
Yeah. That. Ew.
Forgot to buy some heavy whipping cream.
And you get it next time.
So, yep. I'm not making heavy whipping cream, I'm making a substitute. But I'm just doing milk and butter.
Is this good?
Is it all nice and smooth?
I don't know, is cream cheese smooth?
It's supposed to be when it mixes with sugar.
I don't think so.
You mix a little more.
Okay, I think it's good.
You think that's good? Okay. So just scrape down the sides a little bit. So when we add the mixed stuff, it will mix thoroughly.
I'll just stick into the spatula or the mixed seasoning.
Okay, we'll just scrape it down with your finger off the thing, and then you're gonna add the eggs one at a time. Mix them in.
Ew.
Let's look at these chunks, just make sure they're down. Okay. So then, why are we mixing the eggs one at a time?
Because then it gets more mixed in.
What was the word that I used about the egg yolks? Remember? Emulsify. So the eggs emulsify the mixture and keeps everything together.
Can I get a spin it and then just do it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, because if you drop a piece of shell in there, you can't catch it. So when you put the egg in,
that's good.
You
That
stop.
was a good cut.
Yep, it was a good break.
Other than mine.
Nope, gotta mix that egg in. And then you do the next one.
Ew. This does not look good. Is it supposed to be making it clumpy?
Yeah, it's starting to pull it together then. Do it faster. Okay. After you get this egg mixed in, make sure you scrape stuff down so it's getting mixed in with all that stuff. That's
Okay, that one was terrible.
But you still cut all the cracks. Didn't actually drop the shell in the cheesecake mix, which is good. You didn't squirt the egg out on the counter.
We did science, so we did like a lab. And that. It was so, like, we failed, my group failed so bad. Because we couldn't get it to work. Like, we set up the syringe so it would go the synthesis on, so that took a week, like, the thing. And then, like, saw how much, like, it rose, like, the water rose. And we could not get it to work whatsoever. Like, he came over and he, like, pushed it in, and then it went, like, all the way up. And, like, you were supposed to do that, and he goes, oh, shoot, I just messed it all up. It's like, oh, my gosh, Mr. Lily. It was so bad. We could not get it to work.
Hold on. Put it down. Scrape it down. So when you put the next egg in, make sure you get all that stuff up there at the top of the beaters. Do you want a smaller one?
Yeah.
Want this one?
What is this show?
Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, what is it about?
They're like two distant cousins
Mm-hmm.
that meet each other and end up living together.
Weird. Old shows are weird.
You can use that small one to scrape that bigger one.
But now I gotta scrape the little one. The top of the eggs. Where's the top though?
So whipping cream, we're gonna skip the lemon zest and just do the vanilla.
Why are we doing the lemon zest?
Because I don't want the lemon flavor in it.
Oh, yeah. I think it's boring.
You think it's boring?
I said it gets boring.
It gets boring just adding stuff.
Yeah. It's way creamier.
It is way creamier now.
It was like getting chunky, and then bada bing, bada boom, it's now smooth and creamy.
Yeah, it's gonna go pretty quick with those eggs, huh?
This is my favorite kind of cheesecake.
Ah!
Oh, your water tastes like it has like a little bit of lemon in it.
It does.
That's what I noticed last night too, and I was like, oh, whatever, I'm thirsty. So I'm gonna drink it. But now I just straw.
Alright. Get that last
Woo!
thing mixed up in there.
Okay, let's see how good this crackers. Oh, I dropped it.
And that's why you don't do it with it running. Case in point. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So, mix in the egg, and then we'll add.
Ew, this is like fire.
Whip it up good. Make sure you get the chunks in the corners on the paddle. Yep.
Aspen? Yep. Has gotten it now? Now what? How much? I like vanilla. Oh. I just put a little bit in. It's a big
So
bowl.
is it good to measure things over the bowl or not over the bowl?
Over the bowl.
Why?
Because then you spill it.
No, because then you're not sure how much you actually put in there.
It's like about a teaspoon. Sometimes you just gotta guess in mine.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep. So is it mixed smooth?
Yes. Ah! Da, da, I need a dream.
Okay, so we need the
Water.
tin foil, and we're gonna set up a water bath for a couple of them, and a couple of them are not gonna bake in a
Tin
water
foil?
bath in the pantry. Okay, so
I can't.
We're gonna go grab the crust out of the fridge. Okay, so now we got our crust. So we're gonna wrap the bottom of this in tinfoil. So do you know why we wrap the bottom in tinfoil?
So it gets all of it heated.
Mostly so that the water doesn't leak up into the pan.
No, that works too.
And the butter doesn't leak out into the water.
That works too.
So that's why we use the tinfoil.
Wait, we're gonna fill this with water?
Yep.
Oh. Wait, are these ones we're not running water?
And those ones are just gonna get cooked without.
Does it taste the same?
Well, we're gonna find out.
Well, I don't want to give Malin a gallon.
Well, they're all gonna taste good. Okay. But we're gonna find out if it makes a difference on if it cracks. Why? You've seen cracked cheesecakes, right?
Yeah, they're ugly.
Yeah, they're ugly. So you don't want your cheesecake to crack. And a water bath helps do that by creating steam. And in the water, it's not going to cook as hot.
It's like when you go to lava, you know, sit in the hot tub. Your feet don't crack. Actually, they do. They get your eye cracked.
So what happens when this pan is in a water bath, the water doesn't cook higher than 200 degrees, even though the oven is 350. So these will naturally cook at a lower temperature than the ones just sitting on the rack. Okay, and that's with cheesecakes. You want to cook them at a low, slow temperature. So we're going to add in some warm water. Into the pan, not into
cheesecake. Obviously.
We want it to be about 2 inches, about halfway up the side of the pans. Okay?
What happens if you fill it too full?
You just have a higher chance of the water getting inside the pans. And mostly, you want to make sure you have that much.
Wait, how much?
So that you don't run out of water. It doesn't evaporate all out. So that the pans are about halfway covered with water. So you still got a little more to go.
Like that? Good?
Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so let's get our filling in. We want to put some in the small cheesecakes first, and then the rest of it will go in the big one. So, let's just use.
Almost dropped that. Oh yeah, someone broke one of the cylinders in science too while we were doing love. Yeah, she like dropped it. She was super close to the floor, and then she caught it, and then she dropped it again. So we all just started laughing, and then we got yelled at for laughing.
Okay.
I really hate science. I mean, I know this was so okay. No good.
So we're going to need one of the small pans underneath those two because they will all naturally leak some of the butter through the springform pan, and that way the butter's not getting down and onto
Would it matter, like, if you put them like this one would be on the top, and then like you put one underneath? Would that affect it too?
Probably.
Because the heat difference.
Partly, yeah, the heat difference. So the one on the bottom definitely will cook hotter because this is a conventional oven and not a convection.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the difference is between those?
No.
So a convection oven basically has a fan in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it will circulate the heat in the air so that it's the same temperature no matter what rack it's cooking on.
Oh.
So with the convection, you can cook more things at the same temperature more consistently.
But we have a convention.
But we have a convention.
Doesn't.
Exactly.
And that starts to my head.
So with these two, you can kind of pound them down. And if you pound them down, that like pulls up any of the air bubbles that may be inside this cheesecake filling. So you don't have a hole in the middle of it. Okay, you want to pour the rest of that into the big one?
Do you want to scrape it? Not vanilla. Oopsie.
Well, we have to tip it up more.
Stay out of garbage.
It's a little chunky. Probably could have mixed it a little bit longer.
It'll taste fine.
You think it'll taste fine still?
Yeah. Okay. It's fine. It's for Joe and Grace and us. They'll eat anything. Unless it's really gross. Okay. Guys, put another thing wrapped. That was really hot in my face.
Okay. So see if that one will fit this way.
Oh, I got a paper.
There must be.
I'm gonna fit myself. Just because I'm that stupid.
Good. Hold on. Got those in there. Open it up for a second. Yeah. Okay. So now it says to bake it for 15 minutes, and then we lower the oven temperature to 250 degrees. All right, we're gonna let it cook, and then we'll see what happens when they get done. Okay, so we got our cheesecakes baked, and now we're gonna look at them and see how they turned out and the differences in them. So these are our cheesecakes that were not in the water bath.
You just made us.
And
that was me. It's in dipping the tin foil in the pan.
yep, like that.
Yeah, you guys remember this.
And here are our cheesecakes that were in the water bath. So, with these cheesecakes, what differences do you see in them?
Those ones are more crispy around the edge.
There's some more color to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They feel the same.
The big one's not as firm. They're pretty firm.
Yeah. I don't see any cracks.
They haven't cracked. Neither of them cracked. That's good. Means we didn't over bake them. So why don't you grab a butter knife? You can go around the edges and we'll open one of each up. So make sure you get down by the crust too here to separate it. So there's one. Open this one and then you can put them side by side and
It's still on the plate thingy. I think this is the one that had too much butter.
okay. So looking at them, this one has a lot more color than that
Yeah.
one does.
And shaped right.
Well, it wasn't even. It's more full on one side than the other.
Yeah. Like that.
Yep. Is it cooked all the way through? Looks like it.
Yeah. It's not as cooked, but it's like still cooked. Oh wait, I don't know.
So what do you think? Do you think there's a big difference between the texture of them? Do you want to cut a little slice of both of them and try it? Is it smooth?
Mm-hmm. This one's definitely more crispy.
You can see that it's more done, so you can. Does it taste more done?
Mm-hmm.
Is one better than the other?
No.
No, they're both good. So do you think there's an advantage or disadvantage to using the water bath or not?
I mean, you just have to keep an eye on it so that this one doesn't get so cooked. But
So water bath's okay, but it's not necessary.
yeah.
So, all right, that's our lesson.